All right, we're back with Our World with Black Enterprise. Now, the first thing is that President Obama has gotten some resistance from Republicans, even if it's just 6, who have said, I'm not going to work with this president. Remember, most Senate votes are decided by 1 or 2 votes, so most Senate decisions. So if you have 6 people who are from the beginning saying they're not going to participate, I mean, you could see how that could undermine progress, right?
Listen, the president is the leader, the president has the majority, and the president has had opportunities as a leader to open the door, to walk across the aisle, and to make things happen. President Bush did it, others have done it. I don't think that you allow, if that happens, a handful of senators to say, you know, I'm not going to make this happen as a president.
Yeah, I mean, we don't really have enough time to talk about some of the issues here. Governor Romney, you're right, did some things successful in his state, but the things that he's been saying throughout the presidential campaign, particularly throughout the Republican primaries, are very, very different from what he said in the debates. And that's important to me and I think to a lot of voters because we want authenticity in our politicians. So for someone to make sharp of a pivot, such as for him backing off the $5 trillion tax cut is really amazing. For someone like me who follows politics, that's really, you know, an excruciating pivot for him to make. For him to sort of rethink all of his social positions, I think is also troubling because when he was governor, he had social positions that I think were much more approximate to the middle of America. As he campaigned for this position, he moved much more to the right on a lot of different issues.
Like
but
what?
Well, on abortion, on all women's rights issues.
He hasn't changed his position.
He's the leader of the Republican Party,
correct?
He
has not changed his position on
He hasn't changed his position on women's rights, on reproductive rights at all?
No, he has not.
Didn't he at one point say he supported the right to choose?
He did in Massachusetts.
That was in Massachusetts. He has
That's
not.
no.
But listen, as president, since he has been a candidate over the past
several years,
he has not changed. No, and he has not changed his position in that regard.
I think there's a miscommunication. He was saying as governor he took one
because
position,
you brought up the governor stuff.
But he has not changed his position on life. He has always been pro-life. He has not changed his position on life.
But in terms of the legality of it, I think to Tara's bigger point, and this is what I was trying to say before, is I think that most Americans would actually agree that Governor Romney, as in the governor he was in Massachusetts, would make a fabulous president who would actually, whose positions would represent a broad swath of Americans. I think the question mark is which Governor Romney is actually a candidate for president now. And I think that's what he's going to at authenticity. I know plenty of people who think like, who I know who lived in Massachusetts, who said what an amazing governor he was. And they're sort of perplexed is a diplomatic way to put what they saw happen, the evolution that took place during the Republican primary. And so when President Obama made jokes like there was this very interesting fellow who showed up at the debate claiming to be Mitt Romney, I think fundamentally that's sort of the
But if you look at his positions, those positions, listen, we can sit here and talk
gun
style,
control, abortion, abortion.
He has not changed, his position has not changed.
You can
say that, but
let me ask you a question so I'm clear. Are you saying that since he was governor of Massachusetts until now, that he has not changed his position on any major issues?
I would like some examples, is
gun
what I'm
control.
asking for. And I would say, this is what I would say. I would say that from an abortion standpoint, the first issue that was raised, he has not changed his position as being pro-life.
His personal position, but his legal position.
But okay, well, be specific. You're speaking in vague terms.
No, I'm happy to talk about this. In Massachusetts, he wasn't for overturning and making it illegal. Now running for president, he believes it should be illegal, Tara. That's a difference in position.
And
I'm not saying morally he changed his position.
If people have a problem with what they perceive as him flip-flopping, then that's a perception issue.
The question before we go is, why should someone vote for President Obama?
There are a number of different reasons. Really, the vision to me is about how you want to change and how you want to address the issues in the economy. Giving more tax breaks to folk who are doing well off and have been doing well off for the last 20 years is not really the way to go. Starting a whole bunch of wars in the Middle East or continuing the wars that are already going on there is not the way to go. We need to bring back our military, draw it in, and we need to focus on the economy and the middle class here. President Obama seems to have the plan and the idea to do that.
What is his plan to do that the next 4 years?
Well, his jobs plan is already on the table. The question is, are we going to actually invest in the infrastructure of America? His education plan is already on the table. His drawdown in Afghanistan. Let me finish.
You asked me a question. Let me finish, I'd like to clarify the jobs part of it,
You asked me a question. Let me finish. We can go point for point on his jobs plan, but I was trying to run down the reasons why. Because I think
we don't talk about point for point just on jobs plan.
The following things affect the economy. Well, in short, his jobs plan is about investing in infrastructure for America. So putting teachers and fire workers back to work, but also getting folk to build and repair roads and bridges. that's documented that plan is in place. But also, it's also about drawing down our military and actually receding in some ways from our presence and our footprint in the world. That will also reinvest in our economy. And then it's also about education. And to the extent that this administration is committed to investing in education, to investing in community colleges and special training for folks to move into the green and into the information economy.
So how did reinvestment?
I've seen all of that. I've seen all that laid out by President Obama's administration. I haven't seen that at all from Mr. Romney's campaign.
Keli.
Let me say this, it's not my job to make the case for the Obama campaign, that's their job, that's the president's job.
Absolutely.
And here's what I will say as an African American voter is, I just read something interesting that the reason that the Senate race in Nevada between Heller and Shelley Berkley is tightening up is because of Hispanic voters, and the Heller campaign is actually spending a ton of money on Spanish-speaking ads. I want us to be like that. I want to be a voter where both the Romney campaigns and the Obama campaigns, or the Republican candidate in the future and the Democrat candidate in the future, spend just as much money trying to convince me who to vote for as they do for Latino voters, as they do for other groups of voters. And so that's where I want to see our country get to.
We're going to take a break.
Okay,
we're going to come back and let you finish this conversation, then we're going to have some predictions, and then we're going to wrap this whole thing up. Okay. Stay right there. We'll be back with more Our World with Black Enterprise.
I really don't like to call things that way, but obviously we want our candidate to win. We believe we're positioned to win and we can do it.